Hey guys, just another video here. I'm doing a quick review on the Evakool Koolmate 55 litre. Model is KM55. It's 12 or 24 volt, 55 litre fridge. I picked it up cheap. It's probably the only reason that I've got it, because I was kind of umming and ahhing and thinking about whether I should get a new fridge. I've had the old Evakool CF50. I've had that since I was an apprentice, so you know, we're going back a while. I bought that as one of my first big investments, and that was about 950 bucks back then. These things retail for about 1,000. Some places have them for about 900, others about 1,050-ish. The first thing I noticed is the quality looks quite good. Overall, the latches are pretty good. There's a couple things that stand out to me as being not ideal. The latches are great. The thickness of the insulation looks really good. The seal looks really good. I like that there's not a lot to go wrong. The Evakool had a little spring-loaded latch, and it played up. There's nothing to play up here. It's very basic. There's no internal light. The basket kind of takes up a bit more room than it has to. It's not a big thing, but if not for the basket, you'd have a bit more space. It does have this adjustable thing here. Sorry for the shaky video, but this thing can open and close how much cool air gets into this smaller compartment. I haven't had much time to test its performance, but so far it seems to be okay. I've set it to 4 degrees. I'm on a dual battery, but the car's running at the moment. When I turned the car off, it very quickly came up with E1, which I'm gonna guess is low voltage. So I don't know, I haven't done any power draw testing or anything yet. The couple things I've noticed that I don't really like, but I can probably deal with, are that one thing, it's kind of minor, but the sticker here, I believe that's placed over the protective film. So that's a bit weird. You can see here how there's this sort of the normal protective film that you get on things. So if you rip that protective film off, it's going to be all stuck around this stuff, and I imagine that sticker then comes off. So I think that's a bit strange. The other thing is this plug. The plug hangs directly out there, out sideways. It's a strange little plug. I'll just unplug it. There's 4 terminals, but effectively I've pulled it apart, and these two are you know, I think those two are negative and those two are positive. So the 2 wires come in and they just join up to the 4. But the fact that it sticks out so far sideways means that, you know, something can move around in the car and break it off. I've done this myself. It's easy to put an Anderson adapter on, but I think ultimately I'd like to probably remove that, put an Anderson plug directly on the fridge or something, and make it a bit more robust. So it's a minor thing, but you know, if you weren't handy enough to change it. And then again, I think that actually would void your warranty. Ideally, you sort of don't want to modify things, but it's quite a simple modification. But anyway, yeah, just wanted to do a quick review. So far, as I say, I haven't used it for very long. I picked it up, so like I said earlier, they're around 1,000 bucks. I managed to score a bit of a bargain on this one and got it for 380. So super cheap auto here in Australia. They had them marked down. I think they had them at 900 and it was 500 off, so they were like 399, and because this was the last one, they gave me another 20 off, so 379 I paid. For 379 I'm probably not going to complain. Yeah, I'm just sort of a little bit undecided on whether it's a big upgrade from the Evakool. I guess the other thing is it's a 55 litre. The CF50 is a 50 litre, but this thing's way bigger. Like, it takes up more room in the car, which can be a bit of a hassle. But it's probably because the insulation's so thick on the thing, so maybe it's positive. But yeah, it feels like there's less, not as much space in there as you'd expect for a fridge with this type of external dimensions on. This is in the Prado, and you can see the sort of space it's taking up. But anyway, that could be a good thing. Yeah. The other thing is the controller panel. It's nice and simple. There's an on-off switch, and then obviously your temp setting. It's given the current readout. You might not be able to see it very well, but it's saying it's at 8. and I've got it set to 4, so if I can set it at 4 or 3 or whatever. I guess the only downside is that it's down quite low, so if your car's packed full of stuff you won't see it, and potentially the switch gets bumped off. So maybe that's not a problem for you, but you know, the Waco has it all up the top here. And the other thing is, I guess, if you want to orientate the fridge one way or the other, so I'd normally have my lid opening from the passenger side, so if I pull up, you know, in Australia we drive on the left, so if I pull up to the left I can open the lid from the passenger door, and if I do that, it means that my power lead's at the back of the fridge, not the front. Again, it's probably not a big thing, but I guess the Waco, the lid's reversible. Yeah, but in saying that, I've had issues with the lid and the hinges and the latch on the Waco, so I guess there's pros and cons to different brands. We'll see how this one performs over the, you know, over its life with me. I think the first thing I'm going to do is change that plug. I just don't like that, and I might see what it's going to cost me for a for the, you know, the cover or the insulation bag. I think that might be worth having. You can see the sun sort of hitting it there, just where it's sitting. Yeah, anyway, I'll wrap it up there, but overall, for 380 bucks or 400 bucks if you can find one, maybe it's good value. It looks pretty well built. I know the brand's quite good. They're just those few little things I've noticed so far. Cheers.